Tony, you had been kind of at that seven-man rotation, and Malachi's been playing. He gave you really important minutes at Duke. He gave you some important minutes tonight. How valuable is it that he's giving you what he's giving you?
For sure, yeah. Reese, again, to start the second half, picked up, and he needs to be sounder with his that kind of stuff. But Malachi gave us a good lift, was really active defensively and worked hard. And then Cody, played 19 minutes. And, you got to be ready. All right, so we went 8, which is a good number. And, I'd love to play all of them and more, but just your ability. These guys are so quick with the dribble and the ball, so you can get guys that can really keep the ball in front and trying to make our defense sound and then handle the ball. And so I think that was I liked what Malachi gave us, and then Cody gave us a nice lift too. So I'm really happy for those guys, and again, they're an important part of it. So much of it is, how mentally and sharp are you? Are you ready? We've played them. I'm sure there'll be some adjustments here and there, but it's a balance of doing enough but not too much, and then going and competing like crazy, and that's kind of we varied it really. I can't say, earlier in the year you might do a little more, but it's just, we got so much data and information, and I talked to Coach Curtis and say, how's it look? And, I'm playing a lot of guys heavy minutes, but we will need to get some stuff done to prepare for how effective they are.
Tony, you've talked about how Reese can contribute and impact the game without scoring necessarily a lot of points. His defense on DeVoe in the last few possessions, how important was that for you guys?
Yeah, no, in the last few possessions, good. DeVoe is very good. I mean, he's a lefty that uses hesitation and go, and he can. And we one time went under, and he just stopped and hit a big 3. And then Usher plays so hard for them. Josh does a good job with them. And again, that's our league. It's so close. It's so tight. But I thought Reese. I'd like to have had him on him more and longer, and he's got to keep growing and learning in that area. But he's a hard guy to guard in our league, DeVoe is, and we tried to give as much help as we could. But then they do a nice job of spacing, so it comes down to sometimes your ability to slide and contest shots, and then go back and rebound. And did a pretty good job on the glass when they were missed shots.
For about a month, you guys were going back and forth, win-loss. You now have a 4-game win streak. Do you feel like you're kind of riding this momentum, getting into a rhythm, that you're kind of liking where your team's at right now?
Yeah, we talk about just pursuing and chasing quality, and if that results in a win, all the better. But can we just, I think they're understanding. I told them the bigger things of what we need to do now. It's continuing to turn the screws on the little things, and you never can leave the big things about soundness with the ball and trying to be back in transition and rebounding, but continuing to execute and fine-tune, and it's just been good to see a few different guys step up and, having that mindset of playing to win instead of playing not to lose. And there's a subtle difference, but it's important, and you have to, get a couple of victories and then play in these settings, and you just keep, going back to it and pursuing that kind of quality and understanding the outcome-based stuff, okay, but it's about, grinding away and winning the majority of the possessions. So I think that's sort of the mindset. It really doesn't change, but obviously to have a few in a row, and you get tested every time out. So I think we're still realistic about being ready.
Coach, obviously Jaden was big offensively, but he had 3 blocks and a steal, seemed really comfortable defensively. How important has his growth been on that end of the ball for you guys on that side?
I think Armand and Jaden, our 2 transfers that have come in, have continually improved defensively. They still got to keep coming as the guys in our program do, but he's sliding well. He has great tests. He's got to guard different guys. And, again, whether it was Usher tonight or different guys, he had to be ready. And he's understanding more, and that's just what game reps, repetition, experience gives you. And then the same with Armand. I know Armand, was probably discouraged. I want to knock down some of those shots. He got good looks, but I liked what he did defensively, and he was locked in. And that those guys, I think, are understanding, and the whole team is how alert and continuous you must be. And that's what we got to continue to try to hang our hat on.
They went to more of their Princeton stuff in the second half, and I'm curious how much of that you think had to do with the way they were able to score a little more on the.
Yeah, I thought we didn't defend as well in the second half, but also that's partly due to I think they did a good job of attacking us, and it's just hard to guard. They've got so much different stuff, and Reese was off the floor a little more, but the spacing's good. I thought they started cutting even a little harder, and they made a couple of contested shots. it's just, you know, I think Josh does a good job, and that stuff, you got to be ready for back cuts, you got to be ready for handoffs, and then we say guard your yard, or that's the saying, really handle your own guy. And they were effective, obviously. You know, they scored 34, but I think we had just enough stops, and then we weathered the, you know, missing some of those shots.